The first time you see it, you don't feel anything. It looks like just another old British coin, a little heavy, a little dull, the kind of piece most people would toss into a jar, hand to a cashier, or leave forgotten in a drawer. But what if I told you this single coin, the 1969 United Kingdom 10 new pence, has shocked collectors across America? That one version of it has reached a staggering, worth $3 million, more than an entire retirement for most people. And right now, at this very moment, one of these could be sitting in a junk box, a tip jar, or even in your pocket change, completely unnoticed. That's not hype. That's the kind of story that keeps professional coin hunters awake at night. Because this isn't just about a coin. It's about the moment someone almost spent it on a cup of coffee. It's about the inheritance that sat untouched for 20 years. It's about the bank roll that got cracked open on a kitchen table and changed someone's life forever. Picture this. A man in Ohio opens a small envelope of world coins he bought for a few dollars at a garage sale. Most of them are common, foreign, worn, the kind of coins people sell by the pound. Then he sees it. A thick, golden-toned coin, larger than a U.S. quarter, with a crowned figure of Queen Elizabeth II on one side, and a powerful British lion standing over a crown on the other. It feels different in his hand. He almost ignores it. But something about the date, 1969, makes him pause. And that pause is the moment everything changes. Because 1969 wasn't just another year. It was the very beginning of a new era for British coinage. The world was shifting to decimal currency, and the 10 new pence was struck to match the exact size and weight of the old shilling. That means for a brief window in history, two completely different denominations shared the same physical form. Most people never noticed. Collectors did. And buried inside that transition are the coins that became legends. You can feel it when you hold one. The metal is cupronickel, cool and dense, with a smooth edge that has just enough resistance when your thumb slides across it. The portrait of the young queen, designed by Arnold Machen, has a softness to it, the hair flowing in fine sculpted lines, the tiny beads of the diadem catching the light. Flip it over, and the lion isn't just standing. It's dominating the surface. Muscle-crowned shield, a symbol of power, struck into metal more than half a century ago. But here where the story turns. Because not every 1969 10 new pence is valuable. In fact, most are worth only a few dollars. And that's exactly why the rare ones keep getting spent. Somewhere in America, one of the rare transitional strike pieces was dropped into a coin machine. Somewhere, one slid across a diner counter as a tip. Somewhere, a child used one in a vending machine because it looked foreign and cool. And nobody knew. The difference between the common and the extraordinary comes down to the smallest details, the kind you only notice when the light hits the coin at just the right angle. There are coins with proof-level mirror fields that were never meant to leave collectors' sets. There are examples struck with razor-sharp detail, where every line in the lion's mane looks like it was carved yesterday. There are off-metal strikes, coins that should not exist, created when the wrong planchet slipped into the press. And then there are the errors, the ones that make auction rooms go silent. A slight doubling in the lettering around the Queen's portrait. A misalignment that leaves the design just a fraction off-center, like the coin itself shifted at the moment of creation. A strike so deeply impressed that the rims rise like a wall around the design. These are the pieces that turn a 10-pence coin into a 5-figure discovery. And in the most extreme cases, the kind that almost never appear, the value climbs into territory that sounds impossible for something most people would spend without a second thought. Collectors remember the first time, One of the finest known examples crossed the auction block. The room was quiet. 2 bidders, then 3, then the numbers started moving faster. What began as a modest estimate turned into a bidding war. Because condition is everything. A 1969 10 new pence that looks like it just left the Royal Mint, blazing luster, no wear, microscopic detail, is not the same coin as the one that lived in circulation. Not even close. That's how a coin once worth a few cents becomes worth thousands, then tens of thousands. And when a unique specimen appears, a perfect storm of rarity, preservation, and historical timing, the price becomes the kind of number that makes headlines. But here's the part that keeps this story alive. Most of these coins were not pulled aside. They were used, spent, mixed with other world coins, brought home by American travelers in the 1970s and thrown into drawers, given to children as souvenirs, forgotten, which means the hunt is still on. Right now, in coffee cans, in inherited collections, in those plastic bags of foreign coins people sell for a few bucks. Somebody is going to find one this year and have no idea what they're holding. Until they look closer, until they notice the sharpness of the strike, the unusual finish, the tiny detail that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. And when that realization hits, it feels like time stops. Because you're no longer holding 10 pence. You're holding a piece of history that slipped through the system. A survivor from the birth of decimal Britain. A coin that crossed an ocean in decades just to land in your hand. And the craziest part, there are still more out there. Still hiding. Still being spent. Still waiting for someone who knows what to look for. So tonight, when you get home, when you pass that jar of old coins, when you see that envelope of foreign change you've ignored for years, take a second look. Feel the weight. Watch how the light moves across the surface. Check the date. Because the next life-changing discovery in this story could be sitting in your house right now. And you would never forgive yourself for spending a coin that turned out to be worth more than your entire future.